Breaking news! Patriots fans, brace yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal today could change the course of the entire season. The behind-the-scenes atmosphere is absolutely on fire, and that's no exaggeration. There's an energy pulsing through the locker room and the halls of Gillette Stadium that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. It's like everyone is gathering their strength to write a brand new chapter of glory in our history. But hold on, because before I spill all the details I've uncovered, get ready. This isn't just another update. It's a rallying cry for everyone who truly believes this franchise was born to lift trophies. If you have that same blue, red, and silver blood pumping through your veins, smash that like button right now and prove you have faith in this new era that's about to begin. And I want to see who has the courage to show up in the comments with full force. Type it out on the way to the top. Go Pats! Now hold tight, because it's time to reveal everything. If you think you've seen it all with the New England Patriots wide receiver room, you might want to lean in a little closer because what I'm about to tell you could completely flip your expectations for this season. Picture this, a rookie nobody was betting on, a name buried beneath depth charts and overshadowed by veterans with more hype and bigger contracts. And yet, here we are, in July, watching EFF Chisum 3 not just creeping into the conversation but crashing through the door, demanding everyone's attention, from die-hard Patriots fans to ESPN insiders who were late to the party. That's right, ESPN just published a list of each team's biggest surprise, and for New England, it wasn't a defensive breakout, it wasn't a flashy free agent, it was this 5 feet 10 inches, 198-pound slot receiver from Eastern Washington. Some of you may have caught our segment a couple weeks ago, where we spotlighted Chisum long before ESPN or Bleacher Report decided to slap his face on a graphic. For those who haven't been watching every OTA snap and dissecting every minicamp rep, let's just say Chisum has been lighting it up with a consistency you can't ignore. Let me paint this picture for you in vivid detail. There was a practice where Kendrick Bourne, a guy many expected to lead the group, wasn't even on the field. And what happened? Chisum stepped into that role seamlessly, taking reps with Maye, showing spatial awareness, quick feet, and hands as reliable as any veteran. Mike Rice himself spelled it out in his report. Chisum led the team in catches that day. You can call it a fluke if you want, but it wasn't just one practice. This pattern of making plays and staying available was on display across rookie minicamp, OTAs, and full-team minicamp. Here's why this matters more than your average feel-good training camp story. The Patriots have 12 wide receivers fighting for what might be 6, maybe 7, roster spots. And while everyone's focusing on Stefon Diggs and Pop Douglas, Chisum is quietly but decisively pushing established names toward the roster bubble. Think about this. This undrafted free agent got $250,000 guaranteed, more than some 7th-round picks. You don't write the check unless you believe you're bringing in someone who could actually contribute on Sundays. If you're wondering just how real the buzz is, it's not only Maye throwing him 50-plus completions in OTAs or veterans like Stefon Diggs giving him helmet taps of respect. It's also reporters like Greg Bedard saying, almost verbatim, that it's going to be hard to keep Chisum off this roster. That came straight from voices inside the Patriots building. One of the most telling moments came when, during a practice stretch, Chisum caught 4 out of 6 passes in such quick succession that Phil Perry from NBC Sports Boston had to ask if the quarterbacks were planning to throw to anyone else. That's not normal. That's not what you see from a guy who's destined for the practice squad. Look, the Patriots have a long history of maximizing players just like him. You know the names: Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. Undersized slot receivers who made their living exposing defenses underneath. Chisum isn't shy about following that legacy. He shattered records at Eastern Washington, including one set by Cooper Kupp. 120 catches, over 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns in his final college season. You think that happens by accident? Still, as electric as he's been, there are no guarantees. Training camp opens in 15 days, and once the pads come on and preseason games start, that's where you see who the real competitors are. The Patriots have joint practices scheduled, which means Chisum will be tested against defenders who don't care about his underdog story. They're going to jam him, rough him up, and see if he can create separation when it's not just 7-on-7. Here's something else that could tilt the scales. If Kendrick Bourne, approaching his 30s, struggles to stay healthy or shows decline, the team might decide it's time to invest in youth. If Keyshawn Bout, Jalen Polk, or Javon Baker don't prove they're worth the roster spot, Chisum becomes a no-brainer. And to be blunt, Javon Baker may already be on his way out, based on how little he's done to distinguish himself so far. The injuries in this group are another wild card. Polk was showing promise, but if he lands on the PUP list, that's another slot Chisum can step into. But here's the plot twist that had Twitter in a frenzy. Just this month, the Canadian Football League announced that the BC Lions have added Chisum to their negotiation list. Now before you start panicking, let's clear this up. This doesn't mean he's leaving Foxborough. The CFL does this proactively with players they might want down the road. Think about Shatter Sanders getting claimed by the Toronto Argonauts. Nobody expects him to bolt for Canada. Same thing here. Chisum is laser focused on making this Patriots roster. But it does underscore the reality that, if the NFL doesn't work out, he has options, and he's the kind of competitor who will land on his feet no matter what. What you have to appreciate is how the Patriots have handled this. They didn't oversell him to the media. They didn't pretend he was some camp body. They let him earn every snap and every target. And he did. From the Shrine Bowl to every off-season workout, he's proven he belongs here. Now it's up to him to show he can be more than just an off-season hero. As we head into training camp and preseason, you're going to see a lot of coverage about whether Chisum can break through. But I'm telling you right now, if he keeps this up, if he keeps making catches nobody expects and showing the same consistency he has all summer, the Patriots are not going to risk letting him go. Because if they cut him, he'll get scooped up by another team in a heartbeat, and you'd better believe Belichick's former assistants around the league are watching every practice report. So, let's make this interactive. I want you to drop your take in the comments right now. On a scale from 1 to 10, how badly do you want EFF Chisum 3 on this 53-man roster? Are you confident he's the next hidden gem in Foxborough's long line of slot assassins? Or do you think this is all just preseason hype that will fade when the pads come on? Let me know, because this conversation is just heating up. And I promise you, we'll be tracking every single snap, every highlight, and every roster decision right here with you until the final cuts. Because here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. If the Patriots don't find a way to keep EFF Chisum 3, they're not just losing a receiver, they're potentially losing the only fresh spark in a group that has, let's be honest, been uninspiring since Julian Edelman hung up his cleats. Stephon Diggs is obviously the big name, the proven commodity. Pop Douglas has that electricity after the catch. But after that, you've got a depth chart littered with question marks. Kendrick Bourne is at the career crossroads every receiver hits in their 30s, when injuries pile up and speed quietly erodes. Keyshawn Bout, talented, but trade rumors don't start swirling around second-year guys without reason. Jalen Polk, hurt. Javon Baker, he's been invisible enough in practices that even die-hard beat reporters are already predicting he won't make it to September. That is why Chisum matters right now in a way no undrafted rookie should. He's young, he's cheap, he's fearless over the middle, and he's already winning over the two people whose opinions matter most, your quarterback and your head coach. Don't underestimate how much that counts. Drake Maye is out there telling anybody who'll listen that Chisum caught more passes in OTAs than some of the established veterans. And Mike Vrabel, who doesn't exactly throw around compliments, has trusted him in the slot and reps that usually belong to Bourne or Douglas. When you talk to people close to the team, they'll tell you it's Chisum's mental approach that sets him apart. He has the confidence of a first-round pick and the work ethic of a fringe practice squad guy clawing for relevance. That's a powerful combination. Think about this. Chisum shattered Cooper Kupp's college records. Cooper Kupp, the same guy who became a Super Bowl MVP. Nobody is predicting Chisum is going to